So mean. Oh yeah. Is your computer working now?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was live earlier and it wasn't working. It
we'll
just
see.
froze in the middle of nothing. I was like,
Uh,
all right, okay.
are you on your
There
computer
we
right now, or is that a phone?
I am. I'm on the computer.
Oh, it's weird. It does that thing where it cuts out whenever I'm talking and you're trying to talk. I don't mind.
Is that still happening right now?
We'll see. One, two, just start talking. Da da da. Hey, what's
All
going
right.
on?
What do you want me to say?
Hello. Oh no,
I.
I guess not.
You're
It
just
did.
dumb.
It did right at
Leave
the
me alone.
beginning. It did right at the beginning.
Did it?
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have. She has an appointment coming up here that she just found out about. So we
Yeah, I
only.
found out about it as we were pre-mating here.
Yeah.
A
So we only have. I don't know, 40 something
little
minutes.
bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just going to talk about. On this channel we haven't talked about the Delphi updates and everything like that. So. I mean, I think. Everybody should be aware at this point of the arrest of Richard Allen, I would think.
Yeah.
So after all the Keegan Klein stuff, like they stopped searching the water, I think it was in late September. Right. And then just 2 weeks later, they started searching. They did a search at Richard Allen's home. And then, like 2 weeks after that, he was arrested. So was the information from Keegan Klein directly related to that arrest? And that arrest warrant was, or arrest probable cause document was sealed at the time. And McClelland said that they were nervous that, or concerned that information in the probable cause document would tip off some other person, because he said they believe more than another person is involved, like at least another
Right.
person.
How do you feel now about Tony and Kagan?
I just like, it's hard for me to not believe that they're somehow related. It
Right.
almost seems has to be.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that they're not related, and I say this like on every show basically, then you have to believe that that Libby, who was infatuated with the Anthony Shots profile and communicated with the profile at 8 in the morning, and then the profile, Anthony Shots, even admitted to one of Libby's friends that I was supposed to meet her that day, but she never showed up.
Right.
And we're supposed to believe that she only didn't show up to meet the catfishing wacko because another random killer was out there and killed her.
Right.
That would
Right.
be like the hugest coincidence in the history of the world. I
Of
mean,
ever.
yeah,
It just doesn't even make sense. How is any of this possible? I
yeah,
hate this case too. This one is, I mean, this guy was never on the radar. He was just there working at his little job and whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, this guy.
yeah, and he looks exactly like you would think the guy. I mean, it's literally, he is the guy on the bridge. I don't give a shit what. Like you could come up with all kinds of like, well, I don't know, Gray. I mean, there's people that think it was Ron Logan. Ron Logan, and now they're saying I can even see the white mustache because they have to make it Ron Logan. There's no
Why
white
does
mustache.
everybody want it to be Ron Logan? What is the deal with that?
Well, I mean, the probable his little search warrant had some interesting information in there. I mean, we just went over it last night and compared that to the probable cause, and it's sort of interesting that Ron Logan. The one part that's interesting is that Ron Logan, he needed to have an alibi because he's not supposed to be driving. However,
Right.
why not just make an alibi for the actual time that he went to the fish store? See, he made his alibi he told his cousin or whatever to say from 2 to 2:30 is when they went there and got there at 5:30. Well, he got there at 5:30 at the pet store. But did he really? I mean, 2 to 2:30 is exactly when Richard Allen was on the bridge. 2:13 is the video. 2:30 they would have been on the property, on Ron Logan's property. So I mean, it's weird. I mean, I'm bringing that up because the Daily Mail came up with this weird kidnapping plot. I don't believe it at all. As a matter of fact, somebody sent me an email just before the show here saying that that's their theory that they gave to this FBI person who then somehow it was a retired FBI, someone named Laura, I guess, and then they gave it to the Daily Mail. Is that ridiculous? So Daily Mail's like, our sources say. Okay, and so they, at the time, they searched all of Ron Logan's stuff and they found absolutely nothing tying him to the murders. So, I mean, if you look at it, a theory like the theory though that's in the Daily Mail is that, let's see, that it was part of a pedophile ring. I actually think that this is possible, that that's a pedophile child pornography ring, and that Richard Allen was to bring them to Ron Logan's house so that Keegan Kline, this is the story in there, so that Keegan Kline and Richard Allen could assault them. But doesn't that mean they would have to kill them anyways? Because Richard Allen works in the town at a freaking store where people see him all the time.
Yeah.
But apparently, in the story, that something went awry when Richard Allen was moving them up the property, and he had to kill them all. And then, I mean, I'm wondering, well, why didn't you go talk to Logan? But I could imagine Logan saying, hey, don't come anywhere near my house with any of that, forensic treasure trove of, the blood and everything. So then Richard Allen has to go to 300, the cemetery, and then there's 300 that road. And apparently at 357, he's seen walking muddy and bloody by a driver. And that's been known since the beginning. They've had that.
Right. That part was known. So
well, no, we didn't know that part, but law enforcement has always known that.
Right.
It wasn't new. It's not a new revelation.
Is anybody constantly buffering? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, not me.
Nope, just you, honey.
It says excellent.
I mean, that is a good theory, but
yeah, it's a theory that, the only part that bothers me is the time frame. And then Ron Logan later said, well, it was, I told him to say 3 o'clock. Well, then that puts him at the crime scene, and that's not really a great alibi. So I'm not really sure if he just doesn't remember, and it just happened to be that he picked that time frame. Because it was so perfectly matched up. Like, if you look at it, Richard Allen gets to the start of the bridge at like 1:55, and then has the girls on the other side of the creek by 2:30, and then Ron Logan's 2 to 2:30. I mean, it's like, wow, it's just right.
Right, exactly. Why would he pick those times?
When he could have just, because all he needed was an alibi for how he got to the fish store. He didn't do one for the junk. He went to the junkyard at noon, the dump, basically, and he didn't get an alibi for that. But the reason I would think is you're not getting a receipt when you go. You're just throwing crap into the garbage there, and he probably didn't think there was a camera that would have located him, or wasn't really concerned about that. But anyways, yep, there you go. So we do have the probable cause document here. If you want to, we could take a look at it. We can skip through the beginning parts. But I mean, this is really, it's interesting because I could show it on the map at what time was it? It's 11:12. I mean, it's got interesting stuff in there if we want to zip through it. It's only 7 pages long. What are you doing over there? I thought you were like changing your pants or something.
I'm being a mama. Close the door, please, and don't make crazy sounds. Yep. Okay, thank you, bye.
What theory is that, Terry? I don't know which one you're referring to.
Both of the children are out of school now until 2023. Oh, wow. Here we go with that.
Yep. All right. Let's see. You want to read the first part here? Just start with the italicized part.
Gotcha.
This is the narrative of the probable cause document of Richard Allen.
I think you have to share it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Wait, does that even work? Let me see.
It did work. Yeah.
It's kind of, there you go.
All right. Where did you want me to start?
Just right there.
Okay. That on February 14th, 2017, victim 1 and victim 2 were found deceased in the woods approximately 0.2 miles northeast of the Monon High Bridge in Carroll County. Their bodies were located on the north side of Deer Creek. At the time, the Monon High Bridge Trail was approximately 1 mile gravel trail terminating at the Monon High Bridge. Monon High Bridge is an abandoned railroad trestle, approximately 0.25 miles long, spanning the Deer Creek and Deer Creek Valley on the southeast end of the trail. Approximately zero point 0.7 miles northwest on the trail from the northwestern edge of the Monon High Bridge is the Freedom Bridge, which is a pedestrian bridge spanning State Road 25. Approximately 350 feet west of Freedom Bridge, which I don't like when you do that.
Oh.
Approximately 350 feet west of Freedom Bridge was a former railroad overpass over Old State 25, known as Country Road 300 North. The trail terminates just west of the former railroad overpass. The majority of the trail is in a wooded area with a steep embankment on the south side of the trail. The entirety of the trail and the location of the girls' bodies were and are located in Carroll County, Indiana.
Okay, let me show you the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the old railroad. This is the old state road that they were talking about. This is the Freedom Bridge, and this. Let me get the like when it's the April. This one right.
So crazy looking
here,
at it like
that one is exactly what it looked like out there. So the trees are really not dense at all that time of year. Yeah. So the Monon High Bridge Trail beginning. The very start of the bridge is right there, and then they were saying 0.2 miles. I guess it's slightly northeast. It's just right there. It's almost completely directly east. They have a GPS coordinates about right here, but it doesn't make sense visually every time I look it up. It doesn't make sense that it was over here. But anyways, they have it about right here. But the crime scene is right in this area. So anyways. So these are just things to keep in mind. All these pins are related to this affidavit here. And I can read this part, I guess. Through interviews, reviews of electronic records, and review of video of the Hoosier Harvest Store. Okay, so let me show you where that is. That's right here. This camera, we actually found this camera like years ago. I had Cairo from my channel go out there, and we said, man, that one would show exactly who was coming and going. And then that was a huge look at all of these things that showed up on that one.
unbelievable.
There's another camera right here on this building facing this way, and there's the abandoned CPS building, but apparently that there was no footage from that camera there. That was just, it's there. But anyways, through interviews of electronic records and review of the video at the Hoosier Harvest Store, investigators believe Abby and Libby were dropped off across from the Mears farm at 149. So that was new information, because we always were told that it was 137 when Libby made a phone, or Kelsey made a phone call after being dropped off there. So it adds, now it's a little bit later, and they know that because Kelsey's car drives by that Harvest Store at 149. So they could have been that she got there at 137, maybe they talked for a little bit, she was on a phone or something. I don't really know, but anyways. So Kelsey dropped them off at 149. The Mears farm is located on the north side of County Road 300 North, near an entrance to the trails. And the Mears is right here. That's the Mears property, and that's where everybody would park and get out. So that's what they're describing. A video. Okay, the Mears farm is located on the north side of the County Road 300 near the entrance of the trails. A video from Libby's phone shows that at 2:13 p.m., Abby and the victim, and victim 2, encountered a male subject on the southeast portion of the Monon High Bridge. The male ordered the girls down the hill. No witness saw them after this. No outgoing communications were found on victim 2's phone after this time. Their bodies were discovered on February 14, 2017. The video recovered from Libby's phone shows Abby walking southeast. See, this is something we've always said. She's actually in the video. They just cropped her out. Abby is walking southeast on the Monon High Bridge while a male subject wearing a dark jacket and jeans walks behind her. As the male subject approaches victim 1 and victim 2, Abby and Libby, one of the victims mentions gun. And we've actually said this for years. It was in the thing that Abby said, "Is that a gun? He's got a gun." Near the end of the video, a male is seen and heard telling the girls, "Guys, down the hill." The girls then begin to proceed down the hill, and the video ends. A still photograph taken from the video and the Guys Down the Hill audio was subsequently released to the public to assist investigators in identifying the male. They actually released an entire video, or a 2-second video. Abby and Libby's death were ruled a homicide. Clothes were found in Deer Creek belonging to Abby and Libby south of where their bodies were located. And all that really means is where their bodies were located were right here. And south of that means in the water right here where some of that clothing was found in there. Now this is the new information here.
Right.
There was also a .40 caliber unspent round less than 2 feet away from Libby's body, but it was between Abby and Libby's body, both of their bodies. The round was unspent and had extraction marks on it. I mean, really pretty crazy, right? So interviews were conducted with 3 girls. There was 3 girls out there, and they advised they were on the Monon High Bridge Trail on February 13th. They advised that they were walking on the trail towards the Freedom Bridge. So they're actually leaving from their day at the bridge. They were leaving to go home when they encountered a male walking from the Freedom Bridge towards the Monon High Bridge. Okay, so, and we know from, there's people out there that actually talked to one of these girls a long time ago, and it was right where the trees end. It was right in this area that Richard Allen, or the person that looked just like him, passed the 3 girls right here. Okay, so they were going this direction, and he was going this direction. So I mean, well, that's just sort of, they're alluding to it right now. Let's see. They advised they were walking on the trail towards the Freedom Bridge to go home when they encountered a male walking from the Freedom Bridge towards Monon High Bridge. So he's heading towards, the famous bridge that the girls were filmed the killer on, or Libby did. Described the male as kind of creepy and advised he was wearing like blue jeans and like really blue and a light blue jacket, and his hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he did not really show his face. She advised the jacket was a duck canvas type jacket, but it was, blue. Advised, she said hi to the male, but he just glared at them. She recalled him being in all black, so, some of them, the 3 girls don't describe him exactly the same, but he is wearing, it's all dark what he's got on. The other pants are a little lighter, but she recalled him being all black and had something covering his mouth. She described him as not very tall, with a bigger build. She said he was not bigger than 5'10", advised he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. And then when it says advised, there's 3 different people. So right here I'm not able to see that name.
Blank advised.
So, so one of them up here described him as creepy in blue jeans and a really light blue jacket, which is kind of the reverse of that. Then this girl here said advised, he said hi to the male, but he just glared at him, and he was wearing all black. This person said advised he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. She stated he had his hands in his pockets. Showed investigators photographs took on her phone while she was on the trail that day, so one of them actually took photos. The photographs included a photo of the Monon High Bridge taken at 12:43, so that means the girls were at the bridge at 12:43, these 3 girls. And another one taken at 1:26 at the bench. So what that shows you is that those 3 girls were at the bridge taking a photograph of the bridge. Then they walked this direction and then took this photograph at a photograph at 1:26 of the bench right here on their way out. Okay, so that gives you a time frame, like on their way out, 1:26, they're heading in this direction. All right, do you want to read some of that, or is this is it working for you? You can go right from
like
so and so advised. I don't know who that is.
So Blank advised after she took the photo of the bench, they started walking back towards the Freedom Bridge. She advised that that was when they encountered the man who matched the description of the photograph taken from victim
Libby's
two. Is
phone.
that
Yeah. So
Libby's
that, yeah.
phone?
Yep.
Blank described the man she encountered on the trail as wearing a blue or black windbreaker jacket. She advised the jacket had a collar and he had his hood up from the clothing underneath his jacket. She advised he was wearing baggy jeans and he was taller than her. She advised her head came up to approximately his shoulders. She said hi to the man and he said nothing back. She stated he was walking with a purpose, like he knew where he was going. She stated he had his hands in his pockets and kept his head down. Need to scroll.
Oh, sorry. I can't see here. There you go. Right here.
And kept his head down. She advised she did not get a good look at his face, but believed him to be a white male. The girls advised after encountering the male, they continued their walk across the Freedom Bridge and the old railroad bridge over Old State Road 25.
Yes, that means they just kept walking like this onto the Freedom Bridge, and they walked right over this old State Road.
They got
bridge.
lucky. But see,
Maybe.
Okay, so let's ask this question. These are three girls, right? It doesn't say three adults.
No, the three girls. I just think that they weren't the target. See, Libby is the one that was being communicated with.
And, that's why I'm still thinking the Keegan and the Tony thing are relevant because
and there's another girl. There's another girl that was out there too, coming up here. She's actually the best witness of all of them. It's crazy, but.
Okay.
So where are we at here?
Right here. Investigators spoke with Blank, who advised she was on the trails on February 13, 2017. Video from the Hoosier Harvest Store captured Blank.
Oh, I call her Sue. I call her Sue. Okay.
You named her Sue, did you?
Yeah, because it's like she's in this a lot and it makes it easier. The three girls, I don't know which one they're referring to on each one, but
we call her Sue.
Yeah.
Okay. Traveling eastbound at 146 towards the entrance across from the Mears farm.
Okay, so
let
me just show you then. That means she drove by right here at 146. Okay, and then she pulled in and parked right there, at right where everybody else parked. But remember, Kelsey got there at 149, right?
Right.
So Kelsey gets there at 149. This girl pulled in at 146, and Kelsey always said she saw a car parked there when she got there. I mean, it's weird how everything falls into place now, but yeah.
Sue advised she saw 4 juvenile females walking on the bridge over Old State Road 25 as she was driving underneath on her way to park. She advised that there were no other cars parked across from the Mears farm when she parked. She advised she walked to the Monon High Bridge and observed a male matching the one from victim 2's video. She described the male she saw as a white male wearing blue jeans and a blue jean jacket. She advised he was standing on the first platform of the Monon High Bridge, approximately 50 feet from her. She advised she turned around at the bridge and continued her walk. She advised approximately halfway between the bridge and the parking area across from Mears Farm, she passed 2 girls walking towards the Monon High Bridge. She believed these girls were Abby and Libby. Video from the Hoosier Harvest Store shows at 1:49 a white car
matching Kelsey's. It's going to be Kelsey right there.
Yeah.
Kelsey's vehicle. Oh, wait, sorry.
Matching Kelsey's vehicle traveling away from the entrance across from the farm. Sue advised she finished her walk, saw no other adults other than the male on the bridge. Her vehicle is seen on the Hoosier Harvest Store video at 2:14 p.m., leaving westbound from the trails. Advised that she was leaving, she noted a vehicle was parked in an odd manner at the old Child Protective Services building. She said it was not odd for vehicles to be parked there, but she noticed it was odd because of the manner in it that it was parked, backed in near the building, probably to hide the license plate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's like a whole plan, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he got there, got there at a certain time, like he was just waiting for them to get there. Because it's amazing that he's there and then they show up right then. And she's the one,
We know Keegan was the Anthony Schatz profile.
Yeah.
But we don't know if Tony or Richard also had access to those.
Well, we know that Tony had access to it. There's also the
or used it.
Yeah, well, the thing is there's an Emily Ann account that was used to
Emily.
groom the girls and then have them meet Anthony Schatz, but also the Emily Ann account would try to normalize meeting a 45-year-old. So why would Keegan do that? So,
Have we ever looked to see if there were any connections between Keegan and Richard?
yeah, nobody's really found
Associates
anything.
or
I mean, he did work in Peru at one point at another CVS pharmacy, but I mean that's about it.
interesting. I mean, they could have found each other in a disgusting chat room or something, God
Yeah, I
knows.
mean that's what I think that the Dropbox account that led to the largest pornography, child pornography ring in Indiana State history could be exactly how Richard Allen. I mean, the thing is, like people keep talking about Ron Logan. I think that I've always said Ron Logan is just. I know for certain he's not the guy on the bridge. Now, whether he has some other weird connection somehow, I don't know.
Yeah,
But none
sure
of
he
us
could.
know, and law enforcement found absolutely nothing after completely going through every single thing in his house. And he's
Did he
78.
pass away too?
He passed away in 2022, just last year. I mean,
Yeah,
this
I knew
year,
he passed
actually.
away. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, even if he was involved, he's no longer.
But this lady here, Sue, I mean, she was incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, notice the car backed in. She saw him standing on platform one. So let's see. Investigators received a tip from Sue, let's see, what she stated. No, wait. Investigators received a tip from when she
Somebody.
stated he was in
He.
Delphi. Oh, this is just a driver of a car, some guy. On his way to Delphi on State Road 25, around 2:10 on February 13th, he observed a purple PT Cruiser, or small SUV type, parked on the south side of the old CPS building. He stated it appeared as though it was backed in as to conceal the license plate of the vehicle. And then another person, so I think it was Sue and this guy, both drew diagrams of where they
Mhm.
saw the vehicle parked, and their diagrams generally matched as to the area the vehicle was parked and the manner in which it was parked. One of them advised that he remembered seeing another witness, smaller dark colored car parked at the old CPS building. He described it as possibly being a smart car. So some of these don't, sizes are different, but I actually talked to a person a year or so, 2 years ago, who told me that he saw a car parked there. It was right on the corner here. This is what's weird. He said he saw a car parked right here, on the right when, or halfway between here and the curve, right there. And he said he told the police that he's absolutely certain of it. He's got the time stamps and everything when he was working at this building, and then he was at a fair, and one of the investigators, and this is on my show a year ago, said that he goes, well, we know that there was a car backed in against the building concealing its license plate. So that was information that's been known. But isn't that weird that there might have been two cars? There might have been one here and there. And Keegan said that he was waiting for somebody. And
Right.
apparently, listen to this, apparently Keegan's grandmother owns a PT Cruiser, purple. So, I mean, that's
No,
pretty,
you lie.
no, isn't that weird? So whichever one they saw, I don't know, but man, that's pretty crazy.
What
Pretty
if
crazy.
there were the two of them? Yeah.
Right, because Keegan said that he was waiting for somebody. So
Wow. Jesus.
right, so let's see. A vehicle is seen leaving at 2:28. So he drives by. This witness drives by the camera also. So that means that he was heading east on that road 300 right by the parking area. So that person saw that car parked there. Investigators spoke with another person who stated that she was traveling east on 300 north on February 13th and observed a male subject walking west on the north side of 300. Okay, now listen to this. Away from the Monon High Bridge, advised that the male subject was wearing a blue-colored jacket and blue jeans and was muddy and bloody.
Ugh.
She further stated that it appeared he had gotten into a fight, and this is what they were told back then, not some weird late entry. Investigators
Right.
were able to determine from watching the video from the Hoosier Harvest Store that this lady was traveling on CR 300 north at approximately 3:57 p.m. So that means, either she's right here driving, or it could be anywhere around here. But here's the crime scene. He walks up to 300 North, and he's on this side, not this side. So he's walking on the right-hand side, this direction, muddy and bloody. And then she drives right by here at 3:57. So whether she saw him over here, I don't know exactly where on this road.
And where does he live?
He lives right here.
But he was probably just walking back to his car that was parked over near the building, right?
Yeah, well, apparently. Well, and this is the route he would have driven there, because he came in. His car drives by. I don't know if we said that yet, but drives by at, what was it, 1:27. A car matching one of his vehicles drives by that same camera right as those girls, remember how they took the photograph at 1:26, the three of them, at that bench? So then he parks over here, and it makes perfect sense that he walks over like this and then passes them. Right in that area. So, and he admits that he saw the three girls. Richard Allen, you'll see that coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Through interviews, electronic data, photographs, and video from the Hoosier Harvest store, investigators determined that there were other people on the trail that day after 2:13. Yeah, we know of Cheyenne, the flannel shirt guy, Derek, a couple that was out there, some friends of Cheyenne. Those people were interviewed, and none of those individuals encountered the male. Well, guess why they didn't encounter him? Because he took the girls after 2:13 down the hill, and he said, and Richard Allen, though, listen to this. Investigators reviewing prior tips encountered a tip narrative from an officer who interviewed Richard Allen in 2017. Okay, so here we go. Listen to this. Mr. Allen was on the trail from 1:30 to 3:30. Absolutely matches when he drove by 1:27. He drives by that store. He's on the trail at 1:30. He parked at the old Farm Bureau building, which that's an error that he's saying, because the Farm Bureau building is down here.
He must have meant like the CPS building. Right?
Well, yeah, that is what it meant, because later he just said, I parked at the old building. Like, he didn't even... Right. He did... while at the Freedom Bridge, he saw three females. He noted one was taller and had brown or black hair. He did not remember description, nor did he speak with them. He walked from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge. He did not see anybody, although he stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone. That's why he was looking down, of course. As he walked, he stated there were vehicles parked at the High Bridge trailhead, however, did not pay attention to them. He did not take any photos or videos. So it says his cell phone did not list an IMEI, but did have the following. So apparently he didn't have this sort of identification ID that's sort of like a fingerprint of a phone on his phone. Right. And then crazily, the person said, who are the three girls walking on the Freedom Bridge, near the Freedom Bridge? Like, that's the clue. Like, let's look into those. Who are those three girls? Well, they already knew who the three girls were. I mean, the key would have been like, what were you doing there? And by the way, I would have said this. Hindsight works, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it have been amazing to say to him, see this image right here? You said that you were out there. One of our trail cameras that we have out here picked you up. Is this you? And he would go, oh, yeah, that was me. Because, that's what we thought it was you. Okay, you're under arrest.
Right. Mr. Down the Hill.
Right, because he's the one that said down the hill, right? It would have just absolutely solved the case in
then and there.
4 days.
Within days. Yeah.
And I don't even think that's crazy hindsight either. It's sort of like if everybody had known the information, like, my God, this guy places them there.
He's got these color clothes right here. That's what he was wearing that day.
Yeah.
That is so extremely frustrating that this person was allowed to continue to live in the same community, seen the grandparents,
developed
seen all
photographs.
These people.
I don't know if you knew that, but he developed the photographs for the ceremony for Libby's funeral.
Oh, Mother of God. I'd have to kill everybody.
Yeah, investigators believe Mr. Allen was referring to the former Child Protective Service building, right? Not the... there was not a Farm Bureau building in the area. See, and these other people go, no, there was. No, there wasn't. It was south of his house. It wasn't in that area, nor had there ever been one there. Investigators believe the females he saw included those 3 girls due to the time they were leaving the trail, the time he reported getting to the trail, and the description the 3 females gave. Investigators discovered Richard Allen owned 2 vehicles in 2017, a 2016 black Ford Focus and a gray Ford 500 from 2006. Investigators observed a vehicle that resembled Allen's 2016 Ford Focus on the Hoosier Harvester video at 127 traveling westbound on CR 300. Harvester, which coincided with the statement that he arrived at 1:30 at the trails. Investigators note witnesses described the vehicle parked at the former Child Protective Service building as a PT Cruiser, small SUV, or smart car. Investigators believe those descriptions are similar in nature to his 2016 Ford Focus.
Okay, then pause, damn it. All right, so they're gathering all of this in the beginning. They speak to this man who's on the bridge. They have the contents from the phone.
Yeah,
they know that there's a man there who says this thing.
Yeah, it never made it to the right people. Apparently, it's I think that's why they were probably just, oh god, we have to put this out. They didn't want to put this out because it makes them look bad because they're blaming the FBI and some civilian who didn't file it correctly, and the FBI says no, we did it exactly the way we always do it.
That's horrible.
No,
all of this heartache for so long. Oh,
let's see. What are people talking about? Anyways, it said on October 13th, Richard Allen was interviewed again. So this year, October 13th. Listen to this. He was interviewed again by investigators. He advised he was on the trails on February 13th. He stated he saw juvenile girls on the trail. So boom, he admits to those 3. And that he went to the Monon High Bridge. Listen to this, though. Richard Allen further stated he went out onto the Monon High Bridge to watch the fish, not the stocks, that he said earlier. Later in his statement, he said he walked out to the first platform. Guess who? Remember Sue?
Right.
Sue saw him on the first platform, right?
Yeah.
He stated he then walked back, sat on a bench. Now, I'm wondering why he mentioned that bench. Does he think, because I think he did sit on a bench, and then law enforcement, I bet you he walked down that trail, sat on that bench for a little bit, or something, because he probably would mention that to explain why maybe his DNA was swabbed off of that bench. Why else mention
right,
it?
in case he thought that.
Yeah, I mean, just in case, right? Later in the statement, he said he walked out on the first platform on the bridge. He stated he walked back, sat on a bench on the trail, and then left. He stated he parked his car on the side of an old building. See, different. He told a side of an old building. He told investigators that he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood. He advised he may have been wearing some type of head covering as well. You mean like the hoodie that you have?
I think he was tired of running at this point. Maybe he was dying of guilt, because why wouldn't he say he had on like a red fucking hoodie or yellow or something? By now, living in that community, what the bridge
I think he was almost trying to, like early, he knew that he was seen at the bridge by 3 girls. So he came forward. He's the one that called the, what is it called? The conservation officer to go meet him at a store. Like, and I was there. And that guy didn't have enough information in his brain to know that this was so significant, you see? So I think law enforcement in the future needs to give more people more information at various levels, so that they know when they have gold right in front of them.
Yeah, this is way too much.
He stated he parked his car at the side of the old building. He told investigators that he was wearing the blue jeans and black Carhartt jacket. He advised he may have been, I'm not sure what's wrong with my throat, he may have been wearing some type of head covering as well. He further claimed he saw no one else except the 3 he saw east of the Freedom Bridge. He told investigators that he owns firearms and they are at his home. Richard M. Allen's wife, Kathy, also spoke to investigators. She confirmed that Richard did have guns and knives at the residence. She also stated that Richard still owns a blue Carhartt jacket. And there's even a photo probably wearing the same jacket that he has. On October 13th, investigators executed a search warrant of Richard Allen's residence at 1967 North Whiteman Drive, and they found a Sig Sauer .226 40 caliber pistol, Between October 14th and October 19th, the Indiana State Police Laboratory performed analysis on it. The laboratory performed physical examination and classification. Basically, down here it says an identification opinion is reached when the evidence they were able to. They think that bullet was ejected from Richard Allen's phone. Yeah. It's not an exact science, but it's something that you can
pretty significant there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, why he wouldn't get rid of those things, I don't know. But there are killers who keep tokens and stuff like that. It's almost like a dare. Like, well, what are you gonna do about it? You know, but I mean, how many men did they ever interview who were walking on the bridge other than him?
That's right. Well,
so why wouldn't that be the most significant?
Yeah. But you know what I think happened here? I think that he came forward with that, got a hold of somebody. Yeah, just I was here, blah, 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 blah. And it just disappeared. And he was kind of shocked that nobody came back to him.
Absolutely.
And so what happened was during the investigation with Kagan Klein, I wonder if his name was produced somehow. And then they go, well, we've talked, wow, this Richard Allen guy, he's lived here in Delphi this whole time, so we had to have talked to him. We talked to every single male of that age range and everything. So then they start digging through their old files, and they go, oh my God, there he is. And they read it, and they go, oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what happened. Yeah. But they're not going to say that, but that is what
Of course.
I think that's what happened. That makes sense.
I mean, I hope that the grandparents are asking, though. Why? Mm-hmm. Thank you, but why?
I mean, they really support. I mean, law enforcement worked hard, and it just kind of comes down to how did that one piece of information not make it to somebody
important?
I mean, why didn't? Let me ask you this though: why didn't that conservation officer? I mean, it happened. I'm not saying anything nefarious, but how come he was just like even over the years didn't go?
I remember that guy.
That one guy said he was out there. Weird.
Yeah.
Let me. Where is that thing? And just. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. Unbelievable.
He was the only man.
And now his defense is
on the bridge at the time.
His defense is like, oh, he's trying to help. He's been trying to help. No, he wasn't. He's trying to cover up. He's trying to get ahead of, like, wow, these 3 girls saw me. I work at CVS. They're probably going to recognize me. So I want to let them know. Hey, I'm letting you know I was out there. I was out there from 1:30 to 3:30. But let me ask you this: who in the hell goes to that Monon High Bridge for 2 hours? Like, you really just go there, walk around, take a couple pictures, and leave. And
then he's walking. He's developing photos for the memorials and stuff. Just God help me, Jesus.
I know you got to get out of here. I don't know if we can zip this. It's all there is left.
Yeah, I do have to go.
Yeah, I could probably just read through the rest of it if you need to bail.
You can.
It's just a short.
I have to get to my meeting.
All right. Well, good luck on that.
Tuesday.
Good seeing you again.
We got to figure out what we're going to be talking about on Tuesday. So.
Yeah. Did you see that one story that was today? That's what was it? A female veterinarian killed 2 cops, like in a parking lot. Like, what in the hell? I don't even know what's going on there.
What?
Yeah, like it was a 30-minute conversation trying to get her to stand down, and then she killed 2 cops.
Oh my God!
Really weird. I don't know what's going on in that one.
One I just heard about last night is a young girl named Kiara Jackson, and she was reported missing. They did the whole thing. There was a missing poster. It was up on the National Center. All of this stuff, and turns out she had been hanging in her basement with her throat slit, allegedly by her stepdad.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the stepdad had been put in jail the night before for beating all of the people in the home. The mother bails him out, comes home, kills, allegedly, we don't know yet, kills the 14-year-old girl, slits her throat, hangs her in the basement, and nobody knows where she is. So they searched the house, but I guess never the basement. And now the sister has come out and said, he was molesting my sister. And allegedly she was pregnant by him, and that's why he killed her.
I saw that video that she made. The sister she made a video or something, right? I saw that.
The sister did, yeah. She's beside herself. There was a video floating around of the suspect, the man who's in jail anyway for something else, beating them. but they've asked that video not be played because it's going to hurt the case or something. I don't know.
It's too prejudicial. Well, it happened, so it's
unfortunate.
Happen, yeah. I mean, if it's prejudicial, it's his fault. I mean, that's how I look at it.
I agree.
But anyway.
Yeah, and that one freaked me out a bit. I was like, "What?"
I guess it's what it is.
She's hanging in the basement.
It's hard to get a jury if that information's out there. But I mean,
for sure, yeah.
As soon as the jury sees it, he's toast. I mean, it's
done.
Yeah.
Because he was kicking her, punching her in the face. She's 14 years old. She's a kid.
Yeah.
So, and hitting her in the stomach, and people are thinking because she was pregnant, he was trying to make her miscarry or something. I don't really know.
Maybe, yeah.
But there's a lot of craziness. It always gets crazy near the holidays. People get really nutty near the holidays for whatever reason. But
all right. Well,
anyway. All right, off I go.
Good luck over there.
Work.
All right. Well, see you later.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. All right. I'll just go over the rest of this one with you guys. Let's see. So it went to here, and they're talking about the gun. All right. So right down here, this is sort of the summation of this whole document here. It says, through the statements and photographs of the juvenile females and statement of another individual, Sue maybe, and the girls, and we're at they were at the southeast edge of the trail at 12:43. Yeah, those are the three girls, east of the Freedom Bridge, at 1:26. So they were at the bench at 1:26, and then walked across the former overpass, Old State Road 25, at 120 after 1:26 and before 1:46. Apparently, Sue, when she was driving underneath, saw them about 1:46. I would say 1:41. So maybe they, after passing Richard Allen, they sort of hung out on the Freedom Bridge for a little bit. Don't really know. They walked the entirety of the trail and observed only one person, an adult male. Let's see. Sue's vehicle is seen on the Hoosier Harvestor video at 1:46 p.m. and leaving at 2:14. So that was like she was there for 28 minutes. And she stated she only saw one adult, and she actually went the other direction. So when Sue was on the trails, she got here at 1:46. Encounters, or actually 1:46, about right here, 1:47 maybe. Then encounters the bridge guy at probably like 1:52-ish, then turns around, and in the meantime, Kelsey's car pulls up here. Abby and Libby get out, and she passes Abby and Libby right around in this area. It was halfway between the start of the bridge to the parking area. And then, if you think about it, Sue is out of the picture, and now it's just Abby and Libby heading towards a monster that is standing on platform 1. But I think that the killer then, when he saw the girls approaching, didn't want to spook them off, so he walked this way and sort of stood back here while he watched the girls from a distance go onto the bridge, and they felt safe at that point. Anyways, let's see. Through the statement and photographs of the juvenile females. Okay, we already read that part. Down here, vehicle seen Hoosier Harvestor at 1:46. This is Sue leaving at 2:14. And she stated she only saw one adult male. The other three girls described the male in similar manners, wearing similar clothing. Leading investigators believe all saw the same male individual. Investigators believe the male observed by the three girls is the same male depicted in the video from victim 2's phone, Libby's phone, due to the description of the male by the four females watching the male in the video. Furthermore, Libby's video was taken at 2:13 p.m., and Sue saw only one male while she was on the trail from approximately 1:46 to 2:14. Investigators believe Richard Allen was the male seen by the three girls and the male seen by Libby's video. Richard Allen told investigators he was on the trail from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 that day. Video from Hoosier Harvestor shows a vehicle that matches the description of Richard Allen's vehicle passing at 1:27 p.m. towards the former CPS building. The clothing he told investigators he was wearing matched the clothing of the male in Libby's video and the clothing description provided by the three girls. A vehicle matching the description of his 2016 Ford Focus is seen at or around 2:10 p.m., 2:14 p.m., and 2:28 p.m. at the former CPS building. Through his own admissions, so that means that it hasn't left yet, through his own admissions, Richard Allen walked the trails and eventually hiked to the Monon High Bridge and walked out onto the Monon High Bridge. Hey, thanks, Mama, forever. A male subject matching Richard Allen's description was not seen on the trail after 2:13 p.m. Investigators identified other individuals on the trail north between 2:30 p.m. and 4:11. None of those people saw a male subject matching the description of Richard Allen on the trail. Furthermore, Richard Allen stated that he only saw three girls on the trail who investigators believe to be those three that we already talked about. Investigators believe Richard Allen was not seen on the trail after 2:13 because he was in the woods with Abby and Libby. An unspent .40 caliber round was found between the bodies of Abby and Libby and was forensically determined to have been cycled through Richard Allen's Sig Sauer model P226. The Sig Sauer model P226 was found at Richard Allen's residence, and he admitted to owning it. Investigators were able to determine that he had owned it since 2001. Richard Allen stated he had not been at the property where the unspent round was found, that he did not know the property owner, so he didn't know Ron Logan, and that he had no explanation as to why a round cycled through his firearm would be at the location. Furthermore, he stated that he never allowed anyone to use or borrow the Sig Sauer model P226. Investigators believe that after the victims were murdered, Richard Allen returned to his vehicle by walking down CR 300 North. Investigators believe he was seen by that one witness walking back to his vehicle on CR 300 North with clothes that were muddy and bloody. Along with investigators believe that the statements made by the witnesses, because the statements corroborate the timeline of the death of the two victims as well as coincide with the admissions made by Richard Allen. Further, the accounts relayed by the three girls are similar in nature, and timestamps and photographs taken by them correspond to the times the juvenile females said they were on the trail and saw the male individual. I mean, if you go through this really with a logical brain, he has absolutely boxed himself in. Okay, he admits to being there. Let me, I'll show you the video that I made. It's the, let's go from the beginning here. So this is I'll get rid of that part, obviously. So this is a animated version of the probable cause document. It's only 6 minutes long, so check it out. Thanks, Heatherby. Is it playing? All right, so three juveniles. They take a picture at 12:43 right here at the start of the bridge. All right, and they start walking this way. You know, we don't know where they stopped or talked or chatted or anything like that. So that's 12:57, 12:58. I'm just speeding through the time. 1:03, 1:05, and then there's this little bench up here that they take a photograph at, I think it was 1:26. Okay? So it's right here at 1:26. They take a photograph of a bench. We don't have that picture. Then at 1:27, Richard Allen, or a vehicle that looks much like the one he has, drives by, and here it comes. So right when those girls are there, so the timing of that make all the sense in the world, because they're just still walking on this trail. Then he drives around the curve there and then parks at the abandoned CPS building. Sorry for my poor animating. Oh, hold on. Let me get to a different screen here. You guys can't even see this. Let me go back a little bit. So there's the shit. Now on this one I got these phone numbers, so all right, there you go. Did you miss anything? Let me just go back here a little bit. These are the three girls after leaving the bench. You know, we don't even know if they might have hung out at the bench for a minute or two. But then the car comes up here, backs in, and it's actually more like this, vertical, backed in where it's hiding the license plate. And then I have a delay on this, but I think it's probably more likely he just got right out, and then the girls, after seeing him, spent time over here. But I'm killing some time, like he sat in his car for a minute or two. And the girls are hanging out at the bench, walking, whatever it is. And then he gets out of his vehicle. This could be much earlier, like 5 minutes before this. Walks on that path, goes on the Freedom Bridge area, and then passes the three girls. Stated they passed each other, and he even admits that he passed those same three girls. And then they go over the Old State Road, and then here's Sue driving underneath, seeing them walking on the bridge. I'm speeding it up because then she parks, boom, passes 146, then she gets out of her car, and there's Richard Allen, who by that time has made it to the start of the bridge. There's Kelsey pulling up, dropped off Abby and Libby at 149. Now Abby and Libby are walking down the trail. Here's Sue, who is about to stop 50 feet short and sees Richard Allen. Then she turns back, and then halfway between here and the parking area, she passes Abby and Libby. And now look, now it's just Richard Allen and Abby and Libby. And now I think Richard Allen, then, to give them a sense of feeling safe, and we also know that he's not in the photograph of the full bridge and the one of Abby taken at 207. You can't see him, so he's probably far enough back where he's still watching them. And then, so right up here you see that was one picture maybe taken at like 203, and then at 207 will be the photograph off of platform 3 looking back at Abby right here. You don't see the killer or anything, so he's probably back in the woods. And then sometime after that, when the girls are going this way, he then makes his move, knowing that they're now trapped and isolated. He knows nobody's behind him. He knows nobody's in front of him. And these are other witnesses. And then right around 2:13 is when the video comes out. And Sue had just left right there. So the guy's down the hill. And then they were taken down the hill and likely brought across the creek by, I don't know, something like, I think I have it like 2:23 or 4 or something like that. Don't know. So they were over here, like, you know, let's just say 2:20, 2:30 at the latest. Okay? So they're just sitting there. I mean, we don't know what he's doing with them. Taking pictures, whatever the hell he's doing. But again, remember, this is the time where Ron Logan has an alibi for, you know, so if you want to think that that's interesting, go ahead. And then 2:28, that person drives by, sees the car parked there. And then we pan back out, and there they are. They're just still sitting there. Now the clock's on. Here they are down here. The killer, Abby and Libby, 2:38. And look how long. I mean, that's, you know, the killer's there for like another hour after this. I mean, isn't that amazing how much time? I mean, that clock's going like every minute is a second. So now I'm just speeding it up. I mean, I've already sped it up like 60 times just to be able to get to the 325, 330, and then eventually, you know, the girls are killed. Obviously, they said they were killed by 3:30, they think, but we don't really know. And then what was he doing down at the crime scene still? He was muddy and bloody. Looked like he got in a brawl. So maybe around like 3:47 or so, he walks up, goes up through the cemetery maybe, walks down 300, and then this person drives by and sees him muddy and bloody at 3:57. And there he goes. And then he makes it back to his vehicle, and what he did then, we don't know, because he didn't drive back this direction. So what he probably did was, after that, he drove back home this way through town, and then maybe gave something to Keegan I mean, I don't really know. The whole Keegan thing is weird because Keegan looked up the Marathon gas station, which is right there. So Keegan Kline had looked up the Marathon gas station on the day of the murders, and Richard Allen lives right there. Did he meet him there at some point afterwards to hand him something? Maybe the digital media? Don't know. But anyways, that's it, you guys. Pretty crazy. Absolutely nuts. I think that he is, at trial, it'd be, they'll be able to poke holes in the bullet, probably, the defense. And, well, God, one girl said it was all black. Well, which one? Well, here's the thing. All three girls were together. They saw one person. People don't really remember absolute details, but one of them did see the details, what he was wearing. Sue saw exactly what he was wearing, and he was standing on platform 1, and that's exactly the time frame that he would make it to that area. And Richard Allen admits to being on platform 1, and she saw him on platform 1, and that information was put out, hers, years ago, not out online, but law enforcement knew that she saw the person on platform 1. Then he admitted to being on platform 1, and so that places him there, and then the girls are on their way to the bridge, absolutely, and he's the only one in their way to get to the bridge, basically. So, anyways, to me, this thing knocks it out of the park. Now, I'm sure they have other information. Probable cause document, you only have to put enough in there that makes it probable that the person is guilty of the murder. Okay, so obviously people don't put all their cards and all their information in a probable cause document. That would be ludicrous to do. So, all right. Thank you guys very much for being here. I guess we're trying to get back onto a regular schedule again next Tuesday. All right. And if you guys want to become channel members on here, that'd be great. Trying to build up this channel as well, like we were doing before. So maybe we'll get back into the algorithm somehow. I hope you guys found that interesting. I'm not sure what to make. The Ron Logan article that was in Daily Mail seems to be purely based off of a theory somebody had and not actual sources. Okay? So thank you guys very much, and that's it. And as I always say, be safe out there. And as Chasing Truth says, love you so much. Or however the hell she says. But anyways, see you guys later. Be safe. Oh, and thanks everybody for the super chats. Bye bye.